What's up, people? Peri here with episode number 10. And in this episode, we're going to do a little something special just in honor of reaching 8,000 subs. I know that the count right now, I think it's at about 8,600, somewhere around there, but I was waiting for the appropriate time really to do what you see here, which is to get rid of this area. I mean, there's a bunch of things that we need to get rid of, a bunch of mountainsides that we need to get rid of, and this is one of them. And I thought maybe a little bit of a spectacular explosion, just to kind of, I know, it's not that much in terms of gestures to you guys out there in YouTube land, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to blow something up because, hey, who doesn't like explosions? So, but before we hit that button right there, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna review over the whole palace area. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and just kind of go over what we need to do in these next coming episodes, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna ramp up building. We're gonna start multiple projects at the same time, and hopefully through that get a little bit of variety for you guys so that I'm not concentrating on one project at a time. So hopefully that'll be better for you. Leave your comments below as to what you think about it. And you know what, things may change, but I'm really liking what's coming up next. I'm really liking the fact that we're starting to ramp up construction, finally getting some progress done, and I hope you are too. So without further ado, we are going to not hit that button. No, we're not. We're going to go off into our little planning world, and we're going to go take a look at some things just before we hit this button. So I'll see you there. And here we are in our little planning world, and you can see right here, I think about right here, is where that mountainside is that you just saw that we're about to blow up. That's where this is. And as you can see in the planning, as the sun resets over to wherever it goes, as you can see here, it kind of needs to go away because there's going to be a giant building in the way. So we need to get rid of that. And here's the rest of it. Now, I think the only other time that I've shown this is in episode 2, and I kind of just showed off the front area here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little tour of all the things that I need to build. And in the process, I just wanted to talk about this one thing about the whole planning process, and hopefully that'll help you with whatever you're planning in your builds, right? So the first thing you have to know is about imagination. Now, if you ever watch my the one clip tip episode that I had, it was all about developing your imagination, and the key to developing your own ideas, your own original ideas, is being able to imagine something that's not there. And one of the things that I've always thought of whenever I was trying to develop my imagination is that you have to think like a kid. That's the key. You gotta think like a kid. And, I was always of the mindset that, no, you have to be somebody that, is well versed in the arts, and you have to know all the techniques and all that gobbledygook and all that stuff. It's not gobbledygook, of course not. But you have to know all the know-how of how to draw and paint. But you know what? Once you learn all that stuff, once you get all the technical skills down, you know what? They're all pretty much useless without your imagination. And you know what? If you're a kid, I would say between the ages of 8 to 13, you know what? You have a head start on everybody else, because, if you take that imagination of yours and, when I was 8 to 13, I was the one that was like pretending and doing all those things when I was a kid. I mean, I was basically making like pillow forts and stuff of that nature, and, playing king of the castle. And you know what? It's that imagination, that sort of, childlike attitude that you got to take into whenever you're building something. So, you know what? If you're a kid and don't think you can ever build, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have the head start right now with a little bit of know-how and a little bit of technical skills. You'll go far. You'll go very far. So don't think you can't do it. Okay, don't think you can't do it. But what we're going to do in this episode, we're going to take a little tour here. And this entrance here, you've seen a lot of. We've gotten that cascading effect down. But I guess I should go over a little bit about what goes into this build. So we got the entrance here, and we finished up the interior here, and see how the crossroads, they kind of branch off into two areas. And we'll go over this way first. As you can see here, this is the, it's kind of like it's going to be like a hallway, a hall, and then this entrance right here, well, it leads to an entrance, and then as we go up here, this is going to be where my, I guess, my actual living quarters are, because in doing research about palaces, the one thing that I learned is that the king or queen or whoever is the reigning person in the world is in whatever country or whatever it is, but whenever they are, using their palace, they don't actually use the whole thing. They end up just using a little bit, and for their own personal space. And that's what I have here. This is my little, I guess, personal living quarters right here. That's how I would imagine it to be. There's going to be little offshoots here. And I'm picturing, just like how, the president has a White House. I'm thinking I'm going to have a house too, kind of like an area for me to work, and then an area for me to kind of rest and relax. And that's kind of like what goes through my imagination. But also, if you go down this way, go back through the entrance, and then over in this direction. Now this comes out here, and it leads out to this little courtyard here. Of course, you can walk through this way. I just took the long way just for the heck of it. But you can tell that once you walk in through here, I want you to be impressed by this main building right here. So that's why I have it larger than the rest of this area here. And the idea behind it is that, I want you to have that impression that, wow, it's a big thing right here, right? So, and what I'm picturing for this area right here is some sort of government, some sort of place where you can run the land that we are occupying, And I'm thinking to myself, some sort of like, Senate or some sort of, Knights of the Round Table type deal. And that's what I hope will go in this building over here. And this building, again, not too sure what's going to go in here. Probably some more offices for whoever seems to work here. I know I'm the only person that works here, but you know what? This is the imagination process that I got to go through in order to develop, the things that you see here. But one of the things, oh, I should show you this. In the whole process of me imagining my palace, I had to think to myself, I gotta have somewhere to put all my, all my treasures or my belongings and stuff like that. And so that's what I have here is this castle. And if you study anything about castles, you'll know that most castles have what is called a keep. And it's basically just exactly as it sounds. A keep is where you like to keep your things, right? You keep your valuables and stuff of that nature. But I thought it would be a good idea to kind of connect my personal home space with the actual, building, because you want to be close to your possessions, right? So I kind of created this area that kind of branches off. Now in the main world, this is probably a large area, but I felt that it was close enough that it would be kind of cool to just bridge that gap there. So that's why I have this here. And it kind of connects to this little area here, and then it connects to the keep. And so that's how I came up with this design. So that, whenever you're going through the whole design process, that's sometimes why you see why things are the way they are. It's just because, it's all about, what's the word? What did they say? No. Form follows function. There you go. Form follows function. So the function of this is to create a little pathway for myself to get to the keep. A nice dry area, really, so I don't have to run outdoors, And so this is the keep. It's the largest building in this castle right here. And as with any good castle, you have little battlements or places for people to, kind of guard your treasures and whatever keepsakes you may have. And so that's what all these little, I forgot what these called. Are they called ramparts? I think they might be called ramparts or towers. That's what they are here to do. They are here to protect my treasure, which is all in the background there. And so that's what that is. This is the largest castle out of the. There's three castles here. This is the largest one of them. Of course, the government part here I talked about. And then we have this little area here. I'm not too sure what I'm going to put in here. Perhaps another hall of some sort. I've noticed that in a lot of palaces, they like to put in halls, just random halls where they can go to entertain guests and stuff like that. But over here, I had an idea. If you've ever seen, I've been heavily influenced by French architecture, by the way. If you hadn't noticed already, I mean the French Baroque and the fact that this is loosely based on the Palace Versailles in Paris. But this area right here, I had this idea of like that underground thing. And if you've ever been to I'm not gonna say it properly because I'm not French and I don't. Well, I know I understand French, but I can't really speak it very well. But basically, as you can see here, um, if you've ever been to the Louvre, I think that's what they call it. But the Louvre is a place where you have like these really cool artifacts and art pieces and stuff like that. So I thought it would be good to kind of have a museum next to my palace. So that's what this area over here. I'll go outside and I'll show it to you. But in the Louvre, if you ever go down to the bottom area where I guess the entrance area is, it's where everything kind of meets together. There's this little triangle that goes down kind of like so, and I thought that was a really cool feature of that that museum. So I thought maybe of trying to incorporate something like that into this build. And this is not really set in stone. I might come up with something a little bit different just to make it a little bit more original. But, this is an underground area. Of course, you know, as with anything in the planning area, this is not exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to look a little bit brighter and a little bit better. But, it would branch off and go into the museum, which is over there. And let me just show you if we can go outside just like that. So there's like a little lower entrance here, and then it kind of leads into that. And over here we have, and so that's where we were before, right down there. And this leads into our little, I guess, museum. And I don't know what I'm going to put in it. Probably all the little treasures that I find in, in the Minecraft world, or possibly, I was thinking about maybe getting some artwork from you guys, if you're ever interested in bringing in some art and showing it off to the people in the channel. Maybe that may be a possibility. I haven't worked out all the kinks yet of that idea, and you know what? That will all come in due time. But yeah, this is kind of like a little museum here. I have this little roundabout area here. As you can see, in the planning process, sometimes things don't get worked through until you actually have to get to it. And for some reason, I thought that this would be a good place to put maybe like a little auditorium or something. So that's what will probably end up going in there. And if we can go out this way, so go out here. And as you can see, I kind of like the idea of having these three towers here. If you could take a look right about here. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but the idea that I was going for was like, short and stubby, and then a medium-sized one, and then a tall one. And then the tall one over here will be some kind of clock tower. Now, I'm not very good at redstone, and if you think I'm good at redstone, I am not, because it is something that blows my mind when I ever see really cool creations and stuff of that nature. But I'm gonna try and attempt to make some sort of working clock in this world. I have some ideas of what I want to do, and I've seen some ideas of clocks that people have done before, and some of them work, some of them don't work. So I'm going to try and get something that's maybe the best of both worlds, and try and create some sort of working clock in this world. There's lots of things to work out with that, and that's something I can tackle over multiple episodes. But as you can see here, we have again another facade of the palace here, or the museum area. It's going to be pretty big. It's almost the same size as the actual like palace area, and then we have the museum area here. It's almost the same size. But yeah. What else? Over here, this is the second of the three castles. Um, the reason why I picked this area for a castle is because this area right here, there's a giant rock formation right here, and I thought, why not we just wrap a castle around it, right? So it kind of looks something like this. And the way I was imagining it is that, opposing forces from the sea come in, and then they see this giant imposing castle, and I thought it'd be really intimidating to see as they tried to steam in and try to take over our land. Again, this is the imagination. This is the imagination that takes over. So I thought that would be a pretty good look for it. I wanted to try and incorporate as much of the rock formation as possible because, as you can see, I really wanted to get the shape of the build, or the shape of the rocks into this build. So I didn't want to, clutter it too much with the actual castle part, but we'll see how that goes. I know there are a lot more blocks to work with in our main world, so that should be another fun project. And flying over here, you can tell that my voice is getting kind of hoarse because, to be honest with you, I'm not feeling that great. But I'm gonna tough it out. And this episode might be a little bit shorter than it usually is, but you know what? I'm gonna stick it out for you guys. I'm gonna try and power through this as best as I can, right? So as you can see here, this is the third castle, the third of the three castles. And the idea behind this is that I'm thinking about putting maybe some sort of prison in here, some sort of medieval dungeon of sorts that could be kind of cool. And it doesn't look as impressive from this planning world, but this is a pretty impressive rock face here, and I thought that would be really cool to incorporate into the build. I haven't really worked out this entire area yet. As you can see here, it's kind of all messy, but with the planning process, that's something that can be worked out in the main world as well. So yeah. What else? What else? I know I say what else a lot because it's just something I do to fill in the gaps. But that is pretty much the palace. Yeah. There's going to be a little garden here, as you can see. Not too sure how I'm going to do that, but there's going to be plenty of space to have some sort of shrubbery and bushes and all those sorts of things, and another courtyard here to put in my own little private garden, because that's right next to my little living area here. And the other thing over here is I thought, other than the entrance to the museum, it'd be a good area to put like a little visitor center. So instead of walking up the main steps here, the visitor entrance would be off to the side, and here you can walk in, and then I thought, this would be a good greeting area for tourists to come. And as you walk in, you can see these awesome stairs here. And the idea is that I would have some sort of mural on the wall. And I'm not too sure what I'll be putting there. Probably some sort of pixel art. That'd be kind of cool. But I haven't worked that quite out yet. But I was envisioning here is like these little winding stairs that go up, and then you come in, and then you're introduced to all this here. So that's it. That's pretty much the palace. And here we are back in the main world, back here with the whole explosion getting ready to go. And before we get to it, I just want to say a big thank you to all 8,600 of you that have subscribed to my channel. It really means a lot. It's just to see all that love and support from you guys. It's really cool to see. Hopefully there'll be another 8,600 of you that'll join along soon enough. But a big thanks to B00, who pretty much, I'm pretty sure all of you have come from B00, and that's really cool to see. Just the fact that he was able to give me a shout out, really, and just the support that I've been getting from him off camera here. I know there's a lot of things that he's busy with. Let me just tell you a little personal story of mine as to my experience with Mr. B00. And that was when I first sent him a message on Skype. I told him, I'm trying to do this YouTube thing. Take a look at this video. Give me any pointers or anything like that. And, he took a look at it and he said, you know what? I'm going to show it some love. I'm gonna tweet this out. I'm gonna, he said he's gonna show it some love. He didn't say anything about tweeting it out or putting in his episodes, which I didn't think he would do. I thought maybe just, a little shout out on one of his episodes or whatever. But just the love and support that he's been able to give to me, and also the fact that whenever I've had a question, a YouTube question, because I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, he's always been there to just kind of advise me and give me that little bit of support, because I know that he's a busy guy. He's a very busy guy. Let me tell you that. So busy. And the fact that he takes this time out of his day to like help somebody out that's just doing this just for fun, because that's his job. It's his job to do YouTube. And just the fact that he takes this time out to help a little guy like myself to go through the process of starting up a channel is really something, and you should show him some love. I know most of you come from his main channel, but if you ever go to his second channel, you should go there, because he does a lot of things on there. I know there's not that much on there, but I'm sure that he's going to be utilizing that in the near future, so you should go subscribe to him in his second channel. So thank you so very much. I'm going to sign off here so that you guys can enjoy the explosion that is what you're about to see. So if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this episode if you so choose. It really helps me out. And don't forget to leave your comments down below, because I always love reading all your comments. And yes, I do read all of your comments, and I do enjoy reading all those comments. So that's it for me. Always remember, keep your head up, and I'll see you in the next one.